why don't we see in multi-ethnic, black, Hispanic, whatever churches, Christian hip hop, if this is indeed the hip hop generation?
Remember, I was younger. They used to jam at some. I've been to a couple quote unquote white churches. They used to jam some types of hip hop. Toby Mac and some other guys, and some other older acts that have been out there. I couldn't name, like Grits. Some of those DC Talk, and some of those white Christian churches would jam that at like different events. And so you kind of hear it, you kind of hear like, okay, and, like when some dude named T-Dog, is it T-Dog? I remember hearing this cat when I was younger. His name was like T-Dog, and he would jam that. He would talk about, it was gospel rap. And I never saw that at a black church. I never saw that, any black church. I saw it at a white church. So I think the question is, why don't you see it more at black churches? The Christian hip hop, the gospel hip hop, where what we're talking about here. Why do you see it more at white churches?
I was actually talking to Trey 9 about this about a year ago, and I think for some reason there's this relationship between the black church and hip hop, almost as if hip hop is everything anti-God to what it means to be a Christian who's black. I feel like a lot of times in the black church, when we think about sin, we think about hip hop. I think so we associate, everything that is wrong with, the world we see around the black church as, man, this is a tribute to hip hop.
Yeah, it's almost like we don't see that God created everything. We say, okay, whatever's in the church is God, whatever's outside the church is bad, and that's Satan, that's hell. And so hip hop was outside the church bad. Almost like we don't realize that even the tunes that we sing came from old, tunes from the 70s, 80s, 60s, my head, all of that stuff, man. It was like rejected R&B artists from the world who just started making music and making stuff for us.
It's kind of just like the classic secular, non-secular divide.
Right.
You either over here, you're way over here. You're with us or you're against us. And I think usually when people are trying to address issues in black culture or what's going on with black Americans today, hip hop is the number one offender. Right. It's public enemy number one. The way we talk about ourselves, objectify ourselves, talk down on our own people. So to associate that, with Christian, and can it actually glorify God? I think mentally, especially in the black traditional church, in black church culture, or Southern church culture, any color church culture, it takes a lot to get there mentally.
What I find is ironic in this is, even though Christian hip hop hasn't been so much welcomed in the black church as well as been welcomed in other demographics and other races. It's ironic that, from my experience, most of the churchgoers in black churches, when they get out of church, they don't listen to, if it's not Marvin Sapp or God, there's no other Christian music playing. It's either, I go to church on Sunday, and then my music selection, it's like the music selection and the faith are two different separate things. Like yeah, I go to church on Sunday. When I hop in the car, I'm gonna play Wayne, I'm finna play da-da-da-da-da, and there's no